Greetings, hello, and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm ImperialJedi. This is episode number 9 coming at you. And for today's episode, we are going to be doing pretty much a mix of everything. We still got a little bit more work to do on the university campus, but unfortunately for us to be able to finish this off, we're going to need a lot more credits than we have. So you guys in the comments reminded me, because I completely forgot, that we have not put down a sports facility. So we got no stadium, no arena, nothing like that, right? I do happen to have one in mind, but like I said, it is very expensive, so we're going to have to keep ourselves busy in the meantime while we save up some credits here. But otherwise, I really like this so far. So we'll add, I think, the stadium just behind, and we'll just do a little bit more student housing behind here as well. But we'll save that for a little bit later on in the episode. Let's first start by doing some in-town traffic solving, and I've got a few issues here with some services. And then we'll continue on with some of this bike project stuff. And just to get us a little bit head started here with it, I changed the pillars so they would line up with the pillars of the road. That's just based on a YouTube comment that came in, so I really appreciate that. And I ended up making this into an elevated section the whole way through, which is really tricky to try and get it to line up properly. I couldn't quite get rid of this little, like, kind of bubble thing right there. So it took me more time than I wanted it to, that's why I did it off camera. But I left, the bulk of the bike stuff for this episode. So we'll be continuing with this little connection here. We're going to bring this up and over, and then link it all up over here. But you guys can probably see we've got some traffic problems here starting to mount. So we'll go ahead and start with this. And this, I mean, it was kind of unavoidable, I want to say, right? We kind of knew that volume was going to build. I think I even talked about this maybe becoming a problem too. But I'm not stressed. We got some fun ways of dealing with this. So fundamentally, it's just too many people wanting to turn, and just not enough people being able to turn. So I guess, like, the easiest way for us to get through this is we could put a roundabout here. That's almost too easy. We want something a little bit more fun and challenging, right? So, as always, I'm trying to do these kind of things to give you guys, like, inspiration for your own cities and stuff, right? So sometimes I might engineer things that might either seem pointless or like redundant or whatever, but it's just, you know, in the name of getting you guys thinking outside the box sometimes. All right, so what I want is just a road that runs right alongside, just like this. And I think what I'm actually going to do, just so we don't run into any of those, like, holes in the earth kind of looking problems, is I'm actually going to switch this over so that it's elevated. Back this up a little bit here. But essentially what I want is an option so that if you're not going to be turning, you're continuing straight, you just carry right on through. And you kind of see right here, I can't reattach that. Sometimes the highway roads, they just want to go in curvy. See, I can't make a straight out of that. So we're going to switch over just to a straight road like that, and then we'll now switch over to this. Cool. I would try to maybe like to get this elevated too, so let's push our luck just a little bit here. See, going from here to here doesn't want to happen, but from here to here like that will happen. Beautiful. That links up with that, no problem. Get our high-speed arm back in. And then I believe we just had this going over to here. There we go. Alright, so just so it was super authentic, this is how it was completely. There we go, back to where it was. A traffic nightmare. Okay, so what I want to do with this is I would like this arm to kind of extend far enough that people will not take this and then do a U-turn. Hypothetically, if they continue to do that, I may even need to change this over to a road segment. In the grand scheme, I don't mind if we lose a little bit of speed through here. I would just like to have continuous flow through, or just faster flow through. So we'll test out some stuff here. We'll see what really ends up working, but again, don't be discouraged if this doesn't work on the first attempt in your own cities. You might need to do some of that crazy planning. And then, you guys remember too, in instances like this where I can't get the road to connect, we can sometimes get it to work by making that skinnier. And then there we go. You see we got a connection point. Just want to keep that as highway. So you see I can't upgrade that. I most likely will be able to redraw it once I delete those segments. There we go. So again, a little bit of trial and error, but now we have a nice, compact, great looking, high-speed kind of maneuvering sidearm here, whatever you want to call this, right? Kind of a bypass here. And if I put the speed on now, we'll already see some people using it. Those silly people have made a U-turn. That's bad. This doesn't really solve the problem, though, right? You can still see there's still too many people wanting to turn left. So, drastic times call for drastic measures. So like I said, we might lose a little bit of the speed here, but that's totally okay. I'm now going to introduce an asymmetrical road system here. And as suspected, a lot of people are coming through here to make the U-turn. Very silly, but not what we're after. So we're going to slow that speed down by switching over to this road here. If we didn't want to do that, we could make this go, say, further down. Far enough that it would be pointless for them to make the U-turn. But I think this is okay right here. Now, to address the next bottleneck, you can see we've got a lot of the garbage trucks. They're allowed to do that. I don't really mind. The next bottleneck, though, is we've got 2 lanes trying to turn into here. So traffic coming from this direction, traffic coming from that direction. So we'll most likely need another asymmetrical road right here. Great. And then we'll probably want that to continue right up like that. Fantastic. Now you'll take the outside lane if you want to go here, take the inside lane if you want to go there. And then just for one little bonus point of faster flow through, just on that side, we'll do that too. And then put our traffic light back in. And there we go. Done and done. So again, we've lost a little bit of the overall speed, but where did the traffic go? It's gone, right? Perfect. Quite like this a lot, actually. This is kind of fun, just visually. So try this kind of stuff in town, try it on your highways. If you're running into the problems, of course, with that, you know, cars doing the U-turn and stuff, make it oversized. This is cool. I like this. So we'll keep this. It could maybe eventually disappear one day. You never know. We might just delete it, force more action through through this area here. But yeah, for the moment, this bought us a little bit of time. Kind of a fun little thing, too. All right, so our next problem we're running into is one of our graveyards is filled up, so the cemetery is full. So we're going to have to drop down a new one. Because Deathcare, big issue right now. Now, I wasn't really planning on putting one over in this part of town, but just to maybe help clear the problem a little bit more quickly, let's drop down a cemetery over here. See, it makes people happy, so that's not a bad thing, too. And we'll probably want, I think, one more, maybe in this newer part of town that we're working on. Does that fit? Nope. Symmetry. When stuff lines up, it's always a bonus, right? Almost. Why don't we put it right at the top of that street right there? Great. We'll just have to be certain to have bike lanes kind of go through in a different spot. And let's just maybe remind ourselves of that right now by doing this. Great. Alright, so instead of just bringing power lines over, let's just do some zoning. Get some people in here. Get some more taxpayers. Save up for that stadium. Let me show you guys the stadium I have in mind, too. So these ones you unfortunately cannot purchase anymore. City Skylines, I believe, only had a 1-year license agreement to sell. Oh, cool. New. Oh, hey, this is a good one. Oh, excellent. Some cable cars. Oh, monorail too. This is fun. All right, some new transit. So if you have mass transit, this one you'll see some really cool parts of that DLC make an appearance. So I'm really happy to use these. We got some new roads too. And look at these train stations. Oh my goodness. So it's definitely where the fun begins. All right, so we'll implement these. And the good thing too is I think we can buy another... Well, maybe we already could buy a tile. Oh yeah, we already can buy a tile. So enough of you in the comments have said that we should be buying the hills next. I think that's a great idea. And we can start planning, probably in the next episode, some hillside communities up here. It'll be really cool. So we'll have some winding roads. We'll try and work in some parks and stuff too. Make it really just a fun spot. All right. Get that power bubble moving. And I did say that I wanted to sparingly start mixing in some high density through here. So let's try a few towers just on some of the corners. And we'll try and pair these with some parks and plazas just to try and take down some of the height. And then maybe just a few areas that'll be mixed use like that. And when I say mixed use, I mean like half park, half high density, half low density, half high density, kind of all things together like that. So let's get one of these parks in here now, speaking of which. even though this doesn't quite fit here, I'm just going to draw one little path around the outside of it, just to get that same kind of inner pathway look, and then to make it seem like it does actually fit in the square there. And then yeah, just to break down some of the height, get rid of some of that concrete jungle feel, and do some of this as well. Oh, that would have been so fantastic if that one had fit as well. I gotta remember to try that somewhere else. But, oh yeah, actually, but then these wouldn't fit. Oh, symmetry, very hard to chase in this game. I still like that though. And then just to make this area feel more unique, why don't we do this too? Unzone that center part. And then that's a chance for us to make a little custom park here a little bit later on. Alright, let's put down some pipes, make sure no one moves out. And we'll just take a look at the services as well, make sure everyone's in the coverage zones. Last thing we need is our new neighborhood to burn right to the ground, right? Quite the arsonist in our city. Okay. Maybe some smaller towers. Just get some variety in here. See what these end up looking like. Now, just given the fact that we're starting to run into some problems with our Deathcare, I would like to try and get the population closer to 17,000, or as close as possible to 17,000 this episode. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Great. Alright, I'm going to keep it on 3-speed as well, just to help with the finances and people moving in. And we'll just take a look at everything. Schooling should be really darn good over here. It is indeed. And you can see university coverage, it doesn't hit the whole city, which is not necessarily the end of the world. We happen to have way more capacity than needs be. But I wouldn't necessarily try and make full city coverage. If you have your citizens, if they're overeducated, spaces like your factory zones and stuff won't really get enough workers, because they need uneducated workers, and then this will kind of fall apart. So it's almost good to leave some areas a bit under-supported when it comes to education. And then, as the city grows, I'll usually scale down the amount of industry we have total. But you'll kind of see late game how that plays out. Alright. Fire coverage. I wouldn't say it's bad over here. I think it's just pretty darn good. Healthcare is great because we have the hospital nearby. Deathcare is great because we also just put that down. And we did unlock some new buildings here, so why don't we go ahead and place these? They're very expensive though. Oh my goodness. I can't resist. I love new stuff here. And I've just had just requests to use more just green stuff in general, so. Oh, you know what we can do? Maybe this can be right across from where... Oh, of course it did not line up. Oh, no, here. As fun as this is, let's replace that with a yoga... Oh, darn it. Darn it. Nothing wants to line up for me here. Well, fiddlesticks. Okay, so the plaza's going back in. We'll find a new spot for the yoga studio. And then for those of you that do play with mods, I'm sure some of you might even be typing out, hey, Imperial, have you heard of the Move It mod? Oh, my friends, I have indeed. So when we eventually transform this series into mods, I'll kind of explain, like, you know, how mods work, my favorite ones, what they can do. And I think it'll be really cool to just see the difference. Because when I look at this city, it feels very vanilla to me, which is good, because we know we're playing vanilla, right? But then we'll keep some maybe pockets like vanilla, and then we'll transform others, and you can just see, like, how vastly different the game can be played. Which is pretty fun. Like, I like them both. But my oh my, it's amazing to see some of the things you can do these days. Okay, so just maybe a few more buildings here. Seems on a nice little roll with that. And then I think we're okay for police too. I know we didn't check that one, but just crime in general, I'm not really worried about it. We've got great jail capacity, rehabilitate those citizens. Crime rate's so low that it doesn't even... Oh my goodness gracious me. Are you kidding me? Well. Holy goodness. What just happened? We just lost the entire... Oh my goodness. Disaster strikes. Oh boy. Well, again, it wouldn't be an episode if we didn't have a fire. This is ridiculous. The entire campus. We managed to save one park. That's good. Wow, that's absolutely wild. Alright, well, I guess we're going to need a helicopter depot a little bit closer to here. My goodness gracious me. Oh boy. Okay, well, I don't want this to drive our style. We'll just let that regrow. Dear me. And let's continue with the build. Wow, that's a new one. I think that's probably the record for the biggest fire in the city, too. Alright, so what I want to do is just tack on a few more neighborhoods here. We'll let them just progressively zone, and then we're going to switch now over to some bike lane planning here. Get that a little bit closer. And then speaking of bike lanes, let's start doing this a little bit more often too. So again, just kind of based on some comments that came in from before. Just have some bike lanes in between the rows of cities, or the rows of houses. And I think I might switch this over like that. And then we can possibly continue upwards like this, and then across like that, just for the future growth here. Okay. Starting to get a little bit boxy over here. Not the end of the world, but we don't necessarily want to make a trend of that. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to follow the same curve of this road, just to kind of, I think, what I'm trying to illustrate more of the curve, I guess. Make sure that lines up. I think we just missed that. We did indeed. This is when the road guidelines are helpful. So let's go. So this is when the curve does start to happen. This road would continue straight like that though, so we got to be cautious about where the guideline was pointing us. But now we're going to try and line this one up. If this was giving us issues with the spacing, we could measure out how far we are. That's 960, and then we can double check it over here. So I think that's fairly close. 960 looks like it would have been about there. So we'll just do that. And that just ensures that we're very symmetrical now. Or not symmetrical. What's the word I'm looking for here, guys? Help me out here. The word I'm looking for is in line, parallel, something like that. I think you know what I mean though when I say that, but you're right. I have to get better with my vocabulary. Okay. Works for me. Let's fill this in. And then, of course, we cannot zone off the tram track only roads like that, so we're going to want to bring in some side roads. Bring the bike lane down as well. And why don't we do that in the form of this? That actually is a pretty good use of the zoning squares. And this was our one-way road network that we were going to experiment with and continue along with. And this is, instead of having wide avenues, will just kind of serve the same amount of traffic volume, I want to say, because it's 2 lanes and 2 lanes. But we're spreading them out, just so it doesn't look as wide. And this is actually starting to look pretty darn cool over here. Quite happy with the way this is starting to unfold. You see me saying that a lot. It's almost like I'm not expecting greatness or something, but I think it's kind of with the university campus. Like, you have something in your mind's eye. Like, I kind of see the city in my mind's eye already, the overall like, kind of finished results. I see some stuff I wanted to try and do. And then, yeah, when it all starts to come together, it just feels great. Okay, so we'll let this now fill in, and let's go have some fun with the bike lanes. And this may or may not be enough to get us to 17,000. We'll see. Okay, we do also have enough for the stadium, and our trees are starting to grow back. That's good news. So I wanted to place down this one here. And this is part of the Match Day DLC, which is actually a free DLC, so I highly recommend taking a look for it. You'll have to scope it out in the Steam store. I'll see if I can find you guys a link, so check the description. And you're going to have to, like, go through the motions of purchasing it, if that makes any weird sense. So it's a free game, but you got to add it to your cart and, like, you know, check out. But it doesn't cost you anything, so it's a free download. You get the stadium. What's really cool about this is there's a lot of fun mechanics with it. So when the game's about to happen, you can see people start making their way over here. Oh, it's already starting to happen. This is awesome. And then you can pick the team color. So say we want our stadium to be blue. Everyone's going to be wearing a blue jersey. Show their, you know, their pride. Well, maybe not all of those people, but some people will become with blue jerseys. So I think we're going to want some commercial nearby just to try and get some extra parking in place. And then what we're going to do is bring in the green buildings, and those are hopefully going to have the oversized parking lots. I want districts. There. Let's cover all that. Try and make it look sort of nice. There we go, getting better. This is a lot more school-like. Cool facility, too. And I think we want to extend a little bit more of this for some student dorms. But I don't want us to run out of time, so let's start doing some work with the bicycle infrastructure now. Traffic's still moving over here, which is great. I think we can keep it on 1 speed now. Don't have to worry about too much stuff. Alright, so at the risk of making things too boring, I guess we can just kind of go in a nice straight line underneath all this. Forced to just bend slightly over. And we still need enough room for a train to come on through, so we haven't forgotten about that. I'm just curious to see what a bridge might look like here. No, it's going to have to be a bit too tall, and I think that would just look a little bit too silly. So we'll come in at a curve, just to help a bit with the symmetry, and we'll get a little bit closer to the roadway right here. And at this intersection, we'll put down some ways on and off to the bike network. Easy peasy, I like that. Alright, now let's try and get the pathway in here as well. And it's just a matter of following the same curve, same approach. And then if we have the patience and the time, we can try and line it up a little bit better by removing all of these. And I know this sounds painstaking, but we would go through and just go a little bit at a time, get closer if we can. Do it in segments. That's kind of why I did the other part of the bike stuff off camera, right? Because it ends up being very, very time consuming. But if you wanted to, see what I did over here for simplicity? I just put some trees in between. So I might just do that. But that's the kind of stuff that can be done off camera, you know? Just in the interest of saving some time. Alright, so the bicycle, I guess, can just keep on going straight through here. I think we're not going to run into problems with the slope. No, we shouldn't, right? Yeah, no. You know, it's very on the border, right? See how close we are? See how the slope's a little bit in the way? I have a sneaking suspicion that we're probably a bit too close to the, oh, never mind. Oh, and M for pointing out that comment from the last one. Dirt can be found underground. My goodness gracious me. That's one of my favorite comments yet. So yeah, a little bit of terraforming actually did help the cause there. But the cyclist might look a little bit wavy, so I think we're going to move this down by 1 tile only. Just back that up slightly. Alright, so this is now bicycle path on that side. No problems with the sloper terrain. Excellent. Great. And why don't we use the traffic light over here as a way in? Because the bicycle lane lines up with that. And then just so we have it on both sides too. Sure, why not, right? And then just as some fun filler, what you can do is just have like some dirt paths go in between as well. Just for a bit of a visual look. Maybe just throw down a rock or something. Now I thought a rock was a country. Nope. Terrible. You know I write my own jokes, can you guys believe it? Of course, terrible jokes, terrible. But yeah, make our little intersections here kind of fun, right? Kind of steer away from the old boring bicycle to road transfer. Make it kind of fun, right? Anyway, let's continue with this. And so this I want just to kind of go like that, essentially. And then I'm going to want to try and do, I think, the equivalent of an interchange for bicycles to be able to go up, down, connect with that road again as well. So let's start going downward like this. Maybe even go right next to it. Oh, awesome. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky. What I'm going to do is just draw a road right here really quickly so I can get some zoning squares in place. There. And I need this to be elevated. Okay. There's a chance we can get this so that the grass and everything looks a little bit cleaner. Same with the elevation right there. Not so bad. Let's curve like that. It's not too bad. I'm sure we can make that look a little bit better, but that's actually not too bad. So I will keep that. We're going to get rid of this road now because we don't need it anymore. This is going to continue to find a way through here comfortably. I think our best bet would be to have a like a tunnel or a bridge go through the busier part of this, or we could have a like a little bridge go underneath like that or something. And have this side just become a way on over here. So that just goes up like that. Okay, let's try and get a better looking corner piece here. Sometimes it's tricky and you might not end up with what you're after in your mind's eye, but you can get pretty darn close sometimes. That ain't so bad. Maybe we can get that a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. That's not so bad. Okay, so now we've got the way for our bike path to continue up and over. We'll probably want, like I said, a way through here. Don't want to get rid of these rocks, but that's okay. And then we'll have a bridge come up over here. Get a little bit carried away with the bicycle infrastructure, but I'm having fun with it, so. There. And the goal, just like we were doing with the cars, we just want continuous flow. And the faster the flow through on our bike network, the more people are likely to use it. All right. So if you're coming from the school, you would basically pick either the left if you wanted to go downward like that. You would stick to the right if you wanted to go inbound straight like this. And we'll probably want something like this. And then these are all going to meet back up. Oh my goodness, this is getting so ridiculous. No, let's not go from there. Let's go over like this. Let's meet up with this one here. There. Not bad at all. That's actually really darn cool. Very happy with this. Let's get that power line set back up. And let's put it on 3-speed. Oops, severed one more part of the power link. Just forcing us to go a different direction here, that's okay. Maybe we can get lucky and put a service building, get the power bubble to, yeah, there we go. No, I'm not going to do that because of the bike, issues with the bike there. But I will continue with this. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at what we built here. Goodness gracious me, come quite a long way this episode. Alright, well before we wrap things up, let's just also add our little bit more to the campus. And this is going to be residential housing, or like student dorms, like that kind of stuff, just some more of them. Okay, so what's our spacing? That's 360. Okay, so it is that. Nice. And we're going to want to have a new tram line come through here to pick up people that are leaving the station. This is just too much traffic when the games go in and out, right? Awesome. Alright, now let's take a look at what we built. So expansion to the university campus. Already happening, which is great. Nice new stadium. Great color too, I think. Yeah, campus looks great. Traffic's not too bad. Bike lanes are being used, which is fantastic. Yeah, this is fun. Bike infrastructure is really coming along. So what we'll need to do is continue along with the pathway system, and we'll try and find a way to weave it in through here. Obviously, the bike priority is my main concern, but definitely some walking wouldn't hurt the cause too. That's cool. All right, guys, I will see you in the next episode. We'll end things here. Definitely a fun one, a little bit all over the place, but I think a fun one. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I think the city's coming along really, really nicely here. And we're going to continue pushing into this direction now that we bought this tile here. So we'll grow the city, we'll put some more high density in through here, probably that intermingled kind of web that we're doing, where some towers dot up, and we'll have a few blocks that are pretty much all high density, then we'll have some that aren't. And then we'll move into the hills with some parks and fun stuff. Alright guys, I'll see you then. All the best, take care of yourselves, and happy building.